Hi everyone, it is Alex with Holistic Movement Pilates. Today I have a full body stability workout for you on the reformer. We're going to be focusing a lot on smaller, more stabilizing muscles. We are going to do a lot of lat work, which are technically larger muscles, but a lot of focus on smaller stabilizers. We are going to go ahead and get started with your foot bars all the way down, a light spring to begin with abs and arms, and then we are going to use a box for a prop today, so go ahead, grab a box. You can just set it off to the side for now. We'll grab it after our warm up. So we're gonna go ahead, lie ourselves down onto our reformers. Your headrest can be up or down. That is up to you. And then once we get down onto our reformers, I'm going to come just right into my neutral spine. I'm going to reach behind me, grab my short loops into my hands, and then we're going to reach our arms straight up to the ceiling. Hands are just right up our shoulders. Knees are going to go up into our tabletop position. Legs are zipped together. Now, head stay down, knees stay in tabletop. On an exhale, we're going to pull our arms straight down towards our carriage, and then we're going to inhale to return back up with control. Again, I'm exhaling to pull straight down. I'm inhaling to return back up, feeling my lats engaging as I pull, and then think core engages as well. We're going to do 3 more. Now on this last one, let's hold all the way back down towards our hips. Palms can be rotated towards our body. Let's inhale, open our arms out to a T, and then I'm gonna exhale and press my palms back to my hips. So I'm inhaling out to a T, and then again exhaling as I press my palms to my hips, feeling my lats and my biceps engaging here. Now, if you do want this heavier or lighter, you can always change your springs. Again, think engaging that core on each exhale. Let's do 3 more here. Now this next time we press our palms to our hips, we're going to hold at our hips. We're going to combine those 2 movements together. So let's reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, pull down to the hips. Inhale, open out to a T. Exhale, press back to the hips. So we go up to the ceiling. We exhale to pull. We inhale to our T. We exhale to go right back to our hips. So not making a circle quite yet, just alternating T, ceiling, T, ceiling. Okay, we're going to do 1 more series here. And then when we do go back up to the ceiling, we can pause. You can relax your feet down. If you want to keep your knees in tabletop, you can go ahead and do so. And then we are going to add in ab curls. We're just going to do those same 2 movements. So arms are back up to the ceiling, legs are in our tabletop position, neutral spines. On my exhale, I'm going to press my arms down. I'm going to curl up into my abdominal curl, and then I'm going to inhale to return back down with control. So again, I'm going to exhale, nod and curl myself up, and then I'm inhaling to return back down, just maintaining my neutral spine the entire time. Let's do 3 more here. Keeping the legs zipped together. And then on this last one, let's hold at the top. Now from here, we're going to open our arms out to a T. Our shoulders and head should go down when we're out to a T. And then as we press our palms to our hips, we're going to curl ourselves back up. So open out to a T, shoulders, heads down. Exhale, press and curl ourselves all the way back up. Inhale, open. Exhale to curl. Think reaching through our fingers as we come up. 3 more. Okay, now this last one, we're going to go ahead, pause at the top. We reach our arms back up to the ceiling, shoulders, head should be down. Ready? We do that combination. So we press, curl up into our abdominal curls. We open out to a T, our head should be down. We press, we curl back up to the hips, arms up to the ceiling, shoulders, heads down. Ready? Press, curl up. Out to a T, our shoulders, head should go down. Press, curl back to the hips. Inhale, return. Let's continue with that combo. Feel it all over. We should feel our rectus abdominis. We should feel those obliques as well. Now we're going to do 1 more set. And then when our arms go back up, we can relax feet down, can give ourselves a little stretch. Now, it'll be the same thing. We're starting with those two movements. We do our combo to finish. We add in our leg extensions next. So I reach my arms back up to the ceiling, knees tabletop, legs are zipped together. On my exhale, we're gonna press, curl, extend the legs out away from us to a challenging level. Inhale, return back down with control. Exhale, press, curl, reach. Inhale, return, drawing our abs in and up as we reach our legs out for 3. Last one. Now from this position, we go out to a T, shoulders, head should be down, knees should be in tabletop. We press, we curl, we reach out, we open out to a T, shoulders, heads down. Exhale, press, curl. Make sure you keep those legs zipped together. They don't open and close with the arms. This is the last one. From this position, ready, go up to the ceiling, bend the knees. We do that combo. We press, curl, we reach. We go out to our T. We press, curl, we reach. We return up to the ceiling. Continue with those. Anytime the arms are out to a T, shoulders, head should be down, knees in tabletop. Same thing when they're up to the ceiling. Let's do 2 more sets. Last one here. And relax. Ooh. Feeling that core working. Okay, last thing we're gonna do, we're just going to combine those movements with our arms to make full circles now. We're gonna do ab curls with our leg extensions as well to make it a little more intermediate advanced. So let's go arms up to the ceiling, legs in our tabletop position, they're zipped together. Same starting position, we're gonna press, curl, reach the legs out. Now as we open our arms out to the sides, we're gonna slowly bring the knees back, shoulders head down, then the arms go back up to the ceiling from our T. Press, curl, reach. We circle the arms around and back up. By the time we circle our arms around, we should be back into the starting position with knees tabletop and heads down. 2 more in this direction. Last one here. Then once we come back up, we're gonna pause. Now we reverse our circles. So we go out to a T. We press, we curl, we reach legs. We return our arms, our head, and our feet out to a T. Exhale, press, curl, reach. Inhale, return. Let's do 3 more. 2. And last one. Ooh, okay, relax back down. Hang your straps back up onto the pegs. We're gonna sit ourselves off to the sides. We're gonna go to 1 medium spring, and we are gonna do a little sideline series. So if you want to put like a ball or anything underneath your head, a pillow, a blanket, you can go ahead, even a towel. You can always use your hand to support your head if you would like. We're gonna lie down on our right side. Again, you should have 1 medium spring on. I'm gonna get down onto my right side. Both knees are gonna be bent at a 90-degree angle to start. We're grabbing the strap that's right out in front of us, and then it's gonna be up to you which strap you use. Long loop is lighter, short loop is heavier for your arm. Lots of lats and triceps for this series. So I'm gonna reach my left arm up towards the ceiling. My hand should be directly over my shoulder. It's not getting pulled back here. And then from this position, tension in your strap, extend your left leg out, flex your foot. It should be parallel to the floor and lift it about in line with your body. Mine's a little higher than in line with my body. From this position, the leg stays. We're gonna exhale, pull the arm down towards our hip, and then we're gonna inhale, return back up. So I exhale to pull to my hip, and then I'm inhaling to return, just keeping the left leg in the same spot. If the rope hits your face, feel free to reach your arm a little further forward. Again, lots of lats and triceps for this whole series. Let's do 3 more. Now on this last one, I'm gonna hold my arm all the way down to my hip. I'm gonna inhale, reach it straight forward, pause in front of my shoulder, exhale, press back to my hip. Inhale, straight forward, exhale, press. Make sure it stays lifted in line with your shoulder when you reach forward, and it also does not go past your shoulder, so you're not letting your carriage click home. Inhale forward, exhale back. Now check in with that left leg. Make sure it's lifted, foot is flexed parallel. Work those abductors. 2 more. And then last one. Now once we get it here, we're gonna pause here. Bend our elbow for a tricep press. Fingertips should go forward, not up to the ceiling. Exhale, press your palm back, and then inhale, bend. Now I have my palm rotated towards my hip still. If it feels better to rotate it to the floor, you can. I'll leave that up to you. It's really personal preference here. Keep the elbow in. Keep the wrists long. Keep that left foot flexed. Abs are into our backs. 2 more. And then last one here. Okay, then I'm gonna relax my arm and my left leg. We're gonna grab this long loop. It's gonna go all the way around our left leg above our knee. Both knees now are gonna be bent at a 90. Hips are stacked. Shoulders are stacked on top of each other. The carriage does not move for this one. The hips stay stacked. So on an exhale, I'm gonna lift my left leg up without my carriage moving, without my pelvis shifting back. And I'm gonna lower the left leg back down. So you're lifting and lowering. It's a whole leg, ankle and knee. Exhale up, inhale down. Again, getting into now those smaller, more stabilizing glute muscles here. We're gonna do 4, 2, and 1. Now, when we come back down, we can pause for a second. This next time our carriage will move. So I'm gonna lift my leg back up, keeping my hips stacked. I'm gonna rotate my toes a little further down to the floor. So I'm in more of an external rotation with this, knee higher than the toes. And then I'm gonna hinge at my left hip to dip my toes down towards my springs. I'm gonna lift back up. So I'm gonna dip the toes down and then lift up. The work should be on the dip, working against this strap. Again, keeping the hips stacked on top of each other, keep the shoulders stacked. So we can exhale to dip and inhale to lift. Okay, last one. Then once we come up, we're gonna pause. Now we're gonna do a little circle. So I'm gonna dip my toes back down, pause. We're gonna bring our legs stacked back on the top of each other, but they're not relaxed. We lift the leg back up. Dip the toes down, bring the legs together, lift. So it's circling right from the head of the femur in that hip socket. You should feel a lot of that work right in the outside of your booty by your hip. Dip together, lift, working right into those glute mints here. Okay, now this next time we come together, we're gonna pause and reverse our circle. So now we slide our toes down, we lift the leg up, we go together. We slide down, up, together. Again, keeping the hips stacked. Movement comes right from the head of the femur. Two more. And then last one. Okay, we relax the leg down. I'm gonna take the strap off of my leg. I'm gonna hang it back up onto the peg. We're gonna flip over to the other side and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now, we're starting with the arms, not the legs. So when you flip onto your left side, hips stacked, shoulders are stacked. Grab the strap, either long loop, which is lighter, short loop, which is heavier, into your right hand. That arm goes up to the ceiling. My left knee is bent, but my right leg is extended in line with my body. My foot is flexed and parallel to the floor. On an exhale, I pull my right arm straight down towards my hip, and then I inhale to return back up to the ceiling. So we exhale to pull down to the hip, and we inhale to go back up to the ceiling. Again, making sure that that arm doesn't go past the shoulder. Lats and triceps. Keep your right leg in the same spot the entire time. That's going to activate the abductors. Two more. And then last one. Now once we pull down, we hold at our hip. We're going to inhale, reach the arm straight forward. And then we exhale, press. Again, it should be lifted in line with your shoulder, and it should not go past the shoulder when we reach forward. And we exhale to press. Keep the right foot lifted, flexed and parallel. Okay, two more. Then on this last one, I hold my palm all the way back to my hip. My elbow stays. I'm going to bend my elbow so my fingertips go forward, and I exhale to press. Now again, up to you where your palm's at. It can be rotated towards your body or to the floor. And then long fingers or a fist, again, that is up to you. Just make sure that your wrist stays long. Keep that right leg up. Keep the foot flexed. Two more. And then last one. Okay, then we're gonna relax. The long loop now goes around our right leg above our knee. Both knees are gonna be bent at a 90. Hips need to stay stacked on top of each other. The carriage needs to stay still. On an exhale, we lift the right leg up, and then we inhale to lower. I like to imagine if there's a string on my knee and my ankle, it just lifts it up to the ceiling, and then I carefully set it back down. Exhale, lift, and inhale, lower again for that abduction. So right on the outer part of your booty by your hip. Three more. Two, and one. And then we can relax our leg for a second. Again, this next time the carriage moves. So I'm gonna lift my right leg up. Again, I'm moving into a little more external rotation, so my toes are gonna go a little lower than my knee. And then I'm gonna dip my toes to the springs on an exhale. I inhale to go up. I exhale to dip, and I inhale to lift. So again, that work is on the dip down, inhale up. Okay, last one. And now we start our circle. So we're gonna dip the toes back down. We're gonna bring the legs together. We lift up, we dip down, we go together, we lift. And the hips stay, the movement comes right from the head of the femur in that hip socket. And if you have any hip issues, this is so good to strengthen your hips. Last one, and then we're gonna pause and we're gonna reverse. So ready, slide down, go up together, slide down, up together. Let's continue those circles. All right, last one. And then we can relax that leg back down. Okay, we're gonna take that strap off. We're gonna hang it back up onto the peg, and then we'll just sit off to the sides. Now, I'm gonna set my ball just off to the side, done with that for now. We're done with it. We're gonna do a light spring on your reformer, and we're gonna grab your box. And the box is actually gonna stay on the floor today. This is just gonna kind of be like our Christmas oblique workout. So if you're on the reformer, I'm gonna set the box to the right side of my carriage so that when I kneel, my left leg, my left side is closer to the foot bar. So one light spring, long box is gonna be on the floor, should be flush up against your carriage, flush up against your foot bar. Now, if you have a reformer that's closer to the floor and you can't use a box, you can always use yoga blocks, or you could just put your hands on the floor. My box is just a few inches shorter than my carriage. Now, if you have a higher carriage and you need to go a little lower with your hands, that's fine. You could always flip your box this way so that it's higher up if you have a reformer that is taller than mine. So go ahead, set yourselves up. We're gonna kneel directly center of your reformer. Legs are gonna be zipped together, and I'm gonna take my hands almost like as wide as the box, so I want a really wide stance. Now, when I have my legs zipped together, they're gonna be directly through the center of my hands, and then we're moving into obliques. So on an inhale, my arms are gonna stay. I'm gonna push the carriage out with my knees. I'm gonna let my left hip drop down to the springs. Notice how my right knee is lifting off the carriage. Don't worry about keeping it down. I'm gonna pull my carriage back in with my obliques. So on an inhale, again, I'm gonna push the carriage out, drop that left hip, and then bring it back in. Now, just know your box is a little lower than your carriage. So if you're bending your elbows when you push out, that is fine. I just don't want your arms or your upper body to be shifting side to side. So your chest should stay in the same spot the entire time, directly in between your hands. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, take off the yellow spring and do it on no springs. That is up to you. Makes it a lot harder. Inhale, we push. Exhale, we pull. Again, I'm keeping my chest directly through my hands the entire time. All right, let's do 3, dropping that hip, 2, and then last one. Okay, then once I come back in, I'm gonna pause. If you need to give your wrists a little stretch or a counter stretch, you can roll them out as well. Now I'm gonna stand no springs just to make this a little more challenging. This next one, we are going to extend our right leg out away from us, and we're gonna hold our right leg there. If this is too much on the wrist, you can always do this on a fist rather than doing it on a flat palm. That does help a ton with the wrist. So again, legs are zipped together to start. I'm gonna reach my right leg out away from me. I'm aiming it for it to go over the shoulder block that's further back, and it's gonna stay lifted above that shoulder block the entire time. Same thing as before, chest stays. I'm gonna push the carriage out with my left knee. I'm gonna dip my hip. I'm gonna use my obliques and my abductors to pull in. Inhale out. And exhale, pull back in. And I've said this before, but this is literally my kryptonite with keeping this right leg up for that abduction. Out and in. Okay, let's do 3. Try to keep your right leg a little higher than mine. 2. And 1. Ooh, all the way. Okay, take your light spring back on, and then we're gonna step off to the sides. Okay, it's a lot for my hips. Now, the box is gonna stay here on this side, but we are gonna scoot it back. So now it's more like in line with your shoulder blocks rather than your foot bar. We're gonna stand on our box and we're gonna face our carriage. Now, the yellow spring or the light spring is technically a little more challenging. If you need to make this easier on yourself, you can do a no springs. Now, if you have a reformer that's super low to the floor, just stand on the floor and not on a box. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stand more towards the front of my box to start. Your feet will walk back. So if you're on the floor, just stand like right in line with your shoulder blocks. We're gonna fold forward, rotate towards our carriage, and we're gonna walk our hands to the 2 front corners of the carriage. Now, my palms are on the carriage and my fingers are curled over the edge. I'm gonna walk my feet to the back right corner, and then I'm gonna shift forward so I'm right into a plank. So you need to be in a plank. Now, rather than doing this, pushing my butt back and bringing my shoulders away from my arms. This is down dog. We are not doing down dog, we're doing pike. So you need to keep your shoulders over your hands. You're gonna tuck your pelvis, hike your hips to pull out. You push back out. Again, if you don't keep your shoulders over your hands, the carriage will not move. To make it easier, take off the light spring. Tuck, pike, return. We're gonna do 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, come on down. Feel free to give your wrist a roll. Box is gonna go to the other side. Those should be hard. Okay, so when the box goes to the other side, it's gonna be up against the foot bar, up against the carriage, starting on a light spring. If you would like to make this more challenging, go to no springs. Kneel in the center of your reformer, and honestly, I'm gonna start with no springs right away. Center, hands wide. Again, I have mine about the width of the box. Your knees should be directly through your hands. Your chest should be directly through your hands. Your chest doesn't move. The knees push the carriage out. You drop your right hip down. You use your right obliques to pull that carriage back in. Inhale out. Let that hip drop. Exhale, pull back in. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. You can bend your elbow slightly when you push out if you need to. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 more. 2 on a fist if you need to get off of your wrist. And then last one. Okay, then once we come back in, we're gonna pause in. We add in my least favorite element. We're gonna extend the left leg out. Hold again, I'm aiming for it to be right above the shoulder block behind me. Push out, drop that right hip, keep your chest over the center of your hands, pull back in. Yeesh. Out, drop that hip, use the core and your abductors to pull back in. Try to keep that left leg lifted. Okay, let's do 2 more. And last one. Ooh, ouch. Okay, add on the light spring if you took it off. We're gonna push the box back towards the shoulder blocks. Now again, on this one, technically the light spring makes it more challenging. So if you need to make it easier, take off the light spring. Just be very careful when you take it off. Obviously your carriage moves much easier. I'm gonna stand to the front of my box, rotate towards the carriage, fold forward, walk out to the 2 front corners. Again, I'm curling my fingers over the edge. Walk your feet back to the back left corner of your box, shift into your plank. Okay, again, you're not shifting into a down dog. Your shoulders have to stay over your hands. You tuck, you pike, you use your core to pull out. You return. Exhale, pike, inhale, return. Three more. Last one. And back. Whew. Okay. Feel free to roll at your wrist. We're gonna grab your box. The short box is gonna go on in front of your shoulder blocks, and we're gonna change to a medium spring. Now we are gonna keep going with core, but we're gonna give your wrist a bit of a break. So when I come down, I'm gonna go forearms on the box, toes, balls of my feet are right on the edge of the frame of my reformer, so right on the wooden frame. We're gonna rotate to the left side first. So I'm gonna keep my right forearm down. My right finger should go towards the left side of the room, And then my toes, my right toes should be kind of hanging off the back side of my carriage here. My left foot is going to be right at the edge of this platform, flat. So when I push out, I can hold myself easily here. So just the left foot is gonna be on that platform. We push out, we hold. Now I'm gonna push into my right forearm. My left hand is gonna stay on the box to start. On an exhale, you're going to lift your right leg up so it's parallel to the floor here. Then you're gonna set it back down onto the carriage. Lift up, it should be parallel to the floor, set it down. Now, if you wanna make that a little more challenging, reach your left arm up to the ceiling, and you don't have to touch your right knee down. You can just barely tap, lift up. 3, 2, now on this last one, you have to hold at the top, so keep that leg here. Extend your leg, bend the knee, extend, bend. Make sure that right hip stays lifted. 4, 3, these should hurt. 2, 1, set it down. Come all the way back in. Same thing on the other side. Your left forearm goes down. The right foot should be again forward on the wooden platform, flat, and it should be like right at the edge. I'm gonna push my right leg out. My right hand is on the box to start. Ready? Lift that left leg to the floor, bent it to 90, set it down, lift, set it down. It should say bent at that 90 the entire time. If you want to reach your right arm up to the ceiling, go ahead. Up and down. 3 more. Okay, now on this last one, hold. Ready? Extend, bend, bend. You're reaching your left leg out, bend 90, out, bend 90. 3, keep that hip up. Last one, come back and in. Okay, we're going to stretch. My right knee stays down onto the carriage. My left foot stays on the wooden platform. Both arms are down onto the box. We're gonna push the carriage away, and I'm gonna swing my right leg into more of like a pigeon stretch. If you want to take your hands onto the box and lift higher, you can. It's up to you. Think, drop that left hip, stretch out the outside of your right leg, and then the front of your left. If you're lifting into an extension like myself, just make sure that your shoulders are down. Shaking. Okay, bring it back in. Same thing on the other side. Right toes on. I'm gonna swing my left foot to the right side so I'm in more of like a pigeon stretch. And I'm gonna push my right leg out and just lift my chest. Again, if you wanna do this on your forearms, you do not have to be lifted into an extension like me. Trying to stretch out the outside of your left glute and then front of your right leg. Okay, bring it all the way back in. We're gonna step off to the side, and then our box is gonna go off to the side. Now, once we put our box back, we're gonna change to some footwork springs. So our foot bar is gonna go up to the starting position. I'm gonna go 3, battle today with myself. 3 heavy springs. We are gonna do a lot of lowering and lifting the heels. You know what? I'm not gonna be a baby. I'm gonna do 3 heavies and a light. Now, you can do 3 heavy springs, that'll be lighter, 3 heavies and a light, which will be like a medium setting, or 3 heavies and a medium, which will be more of a heavy setting for your legs. I was just hesitating because we're gonna lower and lift our heels a lot today. Lots of calves, glutes, and then hamstrings. So change your springs as needed. We're gonna lie ourselves down, and headrest can be up or down. That is up to you. Once you get down, toes, balls of your feet are gonna go onto the foot bar, parallel with each other, sit bones distance away. So just about that fist distance away. Breath is up to you for this. We're just gonna do our 4-part. So again, settle in that neutral. We're gonna push our carriages out, hold. We'll lower the heels under the foot bar. We'll lift the heels high. We'll bend the knees to come back in. That's all you're doing. Out, lower, lift, and in. The pace and the breath is up to you. Just want you to warm up the backs of the legs into the glutes. We'll do a few more like that. Okay, last set. And then once we come in, we're gonna pause. Now, the next time we push out, we're gonna lower and lift our heels 8 times on our own count. So let's push out, lower the heels, lift, lower the heels, lift. We want the backs of the legs into the glutes, firing. I have 4. Last one. Bend to come all the way back in. We're gonna push back out, lower and lift 6 times. Bend to come back in after your 6th one. Push out, lower and lift 4 times. And then last set will be 2. And then we can come all the way back in. Now we're gonna stay on our toes. We're gonna slide them all the way out to the sides. So we're right into a wide second position. Again, our toes are still on, our knees are pointed out to the sides. 4-part to start. I'm gonna push out, lower, lift my heels, bend to come back in. Out, lower, lift, in. And I'm really starting to regret that light spring. Along with abductors, these are honestly like my least favorite things to do. Okay, the next time we push out, we have to lower and lift 8 times. Lower, lift, lower, lift. It should be a controlled lower, a controlled lift. You're not just dropping your heels and popping them back up. Ooh, okay, after 8, you gotta go out for 6. I'm burning here. Ooh. And then 4, and then 2, and then you're done with that. Honestly, miserable series. Okay, I'm on my last set for 2. Okay, when you finish your 2s, you can pause, give yourselves a little stretch, and then we're just gonna take our feet back to the center of the foot bar. We're gonna go heels on the foot bar in our Pilates V. So heels are together, toes are turned apart, in our neutral spine still. We're gonna exhale to push out in our V, and then we're bending to come back in. So again, you should be heels on in your Pilates V. Exhale as we push. Inhale, resist back in. Squeeze your booty as you push out. Resist and maintain that neutral spine. Last one like that. And then once I come back in, I'm gonna pause and I'm going to flatten my low back down into the mat, lift my pelvis just about a fist distance off the carriage, so we're in that little pelvic tilt. And then we're still in that V. We're gonna exhale, push our carriages all the way out. Keep that hover of your pelvis, bend to come back in. So we should be keeping the hover of our hips the entire time. It's an exhale out and an inhale back. Squeeze your glutes. 2 more. And then last one. Then once we come back in, pause, roll our spines down, bring it back into a neutral, slide your heels all the way out to the sides, back into our wide second, holding our neutral spines, exhale, push, inhale, resist, exhale out, inhale back, keep going. 3 more. Last one. And then once we come in, pause, roll our spines down, lift our pelvis at fist distance. We're right into that pelvic lift. Keep that hover of your pelvis. Exhale as we push all the way out. Inhale, keep that hover as we come back in. Exhale, push. Inhale back. I'm squeezing my booty when I push out, resisting in. Okay, 2 more. And then last one. Now, when you come back in, roll your spines all the way back down, bring it back into a neutral. Take your toes, balls of your feet back to the center of the foot bar parallel. Push out 1 time, hold, lower the heels, and just stretch out the backs of the legs into the glutes. And breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, then keep the heels down, but bend your knees slightly, and that should stretch out your calves a little more. Okay, bring the carriages all the way back in. We're gonna sit off to sides. We're just gonna change to 2 heavy springs for feet and straps. If you do want a little heavier and you want to have a light spring on with those 2 heavies, you can. And then just a reminder, if you have the spring setting where you have the first row and then you have a second row to hook your springs onto, if you hook to the second row setting, it always makes it a little heavier. So if you do want to up your legs, you always have that option. We're lying back down onto our reformer. So again, 2 heavies for sure. And then if you want to, you can go 2 heavies and a light. If you want to, and you have the option, you can always hook to the second row. So once we get down, headrest can be up or down again. That's up to you. I'm gonna reach behind me, grab my loops, and the long loops are gonna go onto my feet. Now, once I get my long loops onto my feet, my legs are gonna go up just as high as I can hold my neutral spine. Feet are parallel with each other, legs are zipped together. The only thing we're doing here will be leg circles today. So on an exhale, I'm gonna lower my legs down towards my springs. I'm inhaling to circle them around back up. Again, I'm exhaling to lower down, inhaling to circle around and back up, maintaining my neutral spine the entire time. All right, I'm gonna do 2 more in this direction. Last one. And then when we come up, we're gonna pause and then reverse. Should feel those inner thighs working here to bring the legs together. Again, make sure that you're maintaining your neutral. So sacrum stays heavy, pelvis should be staying nice and still. And then we want to think bra lines stay heavy as well, so we have that rib cage connection. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more. And then last one. Now, when I come up from this last one, I'm gonna pause. I'm not gonna worry about my neutral spine. We're gonna do a figure 4 stretch to finish. So I'm gonna go right ankle, left knee. You will get slack in this right strap, and then you're gonna bend your left knee if you can. And if you want to, you can push your right knee away from you to hold that stretch again. So right ankle should be going to your left knee / like thigh. Hold. You wanna stretch out the outside of your right leg and glute. Okay, then I'm gonna extend my left leg long, untangle my right, go left ankle to your left ankle to your right knee slash thigh. Bend your right knee if you can, hold and stretch. Okay, extend that right leg, untangle yourselves, take the straps off of your feet. We're gonna hang them back up onto the pegs, and then we'll just go ahead, sit ourselves off to the sides. All right, we are all finished with that class. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today.